Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Or if you're eating breakfast, good morning to you. You live in a shoe. I haven't sang that for a long time on here. It is so toasty warm. I have my seat warmer on. I have my steering wheel heater on. I have Tanya Jean's seat heater warmer on. I'll turn that off. And then I also have the heat up to 75. So we're gonna turn the heat down to 72. And then I also need to, my phone is plugged in and I need to turn it off the display light because it is on never and it won't shut off. Okay, so how are you guys doing today? There's like a cup rolling around back there. I was like moving my cups over because my sponsor got in my car earlier because we all met at Tanya's and then we drove from there to the meeting. And I have like 4 cups in the back seat, not including this, my coffee. And not including Tanya Jean's water bottle that she left in my car that I will be drinking here in a little bit. Yeah. Today was a good day. I was happy, joyous, and free. I felt so good all day today. I woke up and I decided to sleep in a little bit longer, took the dogs outside. And oh, little Boo Radley and Tucker were so sweet this morning. Tucker got into like a little ball on Alex's pillow. They like to sleep on Alex's pillow when he's gone. And so he doesn't love that, but he looks so cozy I didn't want to move him. So he was sleeping up there, and then Boo Radley, I was like sleeping on my side and he was sleeping like right here on his little comfort blanket. And so it was just the sweetest thing. And yeah, they are such sweet little pups. And then we slept in, and then we got up, and it was cold and rainy today. So yesterday it was 68. Tonight it is 32 degrees right now. It's been about this all day long. It's been like rainy and nasty outside. So I went and got coffee, and then I did a review at Starbucks while I was there of this orange drink that was nasty. And I mean, it wasn't nasty, but it was like, it didn't taste good. I didn't like it. And then, what did I do after that? I ran a couple errands, and then I came home and didn't really do much. And then I filmed a drama video, and I filmed a Peterisms video. And I was trying to get my vlog and all that stuff up, which I posted late tonight because I thought I had posted it at like 5. Oh my God, the battery is about to die on here. Please tell me I have the other battery with me. I have another battery in here. I hope that it's, I hope it's charged, because if it's not, then this is gonna be a 3-minute vlog tonight. But I'll just wait until this dies. I'm about to pull in the gas station. But yeah, and I forgot that I hadn't posted the vlog. I thought I had posted the vlog already. So if I put this battery in and the battery is dead, you guys, I'm literally kind of screwed, because I have to go home and charge it at home and then just sit there and wait while it charges, which takes forever. So let me pull in here. Hold on a second. Right in front of the Exact Air machine. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see. I'm like praying that it's charged. It should be charged because it's a battery that I had charged earlier. And so when I went to go do the review, I think I took the battery with me. So the other videos that I filmed, well, that would make sense then, because that battery was full when I went to go do the review. And I did the review, the drama video, and the Peterisms video, and then it's just been sitting there. So that would make sense that it was probably empty. Okay, well, it's not flashing yet, so that should mean that there's some battery on there. Whew, okay, I was getting a little worried. And then Alex came home, and I did some laundry today too, real exciting. I did like stuff around the house, and I was really wanting to like do my hair and look nice for this meeting and stuff like that. But I was running late, and I wanted to, you know, be right on time because it's Tanya's birthday. She was getting her coin tonight for 24 years sober. So I wanted to make sure that I told her I would be there between 7:15 and 7:20. So I wanted to make sure that I was there like right at the time that I told her I would be there to pick her up. So it was just like, okay, forget the hair and the nice shirt and all that kind of stuff. So I just threw on this black hoodie. I actually have on a pair of jeans I haven't worn in a while, these gray jeans. I love these jeans. I got them at the Saks outlet at that Grassroots or whatever it's called mall in Fort Lauderdale, that huge mall there. The brand is Grey, G-R-E-Y. The jeans are gray, but that doesn't have anything to do with it. But they have like they were like my first pair of jeans that had like this stretchy, not elastic, but you know, like the denim on the waist was stretchy. So then, okay, so Alex came home and he was like feeding the dogs and I was finishing up my stuff. And then he was watching TV. He's like really into that Schitt's Creek right now. So he was watching that. I finished AJ and the Queen last night. I started listening to my audiobook and I was going to finish it because I only had like an hour and 15 minutes left. And I was like, I'm going to go home and finish AJ and the Queen instead with RuPaul. So I went home. I had like an episode, and a half to finish. So I went home and finished AJ and the Queen. It was so good, you guys. It was so good. You know, it's interesting, like when I started that, and that's like a show that like otherwise I probably would have turned off and not gone all the way through with. Like I was talking to our friends the other night, our other friends, not Melissa and Jason, at the Super Bowl party, and I was asking about like something about Stranger Things. We got talking about that somehow, and they're like, yeah, we watched the first season, but we really couldn't get into it, and the second season was like really kind of like sad and depressing, and I was like, it was, but I mean, like, they're just like, it just wasn't our thing. I just can't imagine. I think Stranger Things is so fantastic. It's one of my favorite shows. The third season was the best by far, to me at least, in my opinion. But, so yeah, I finished AJ and the Queen last night. Highly recommend it. Thought it was really good. I mean, RuPaul's been in movies and stuff like that. It's just fantastic acting in the movie. And the little girl that plays AJ is just unbelievable in the movie. And, it was just like the end of it. I just found myself bawling at the very end of the first season. I think it'll be picked up. It kind of ends like it's not over, if that makes sense. So I don't know what I'm going to watch next. I might watch Schitt's Creek. Is that how we pronounce it? And I might finish The Good Place. And then there's a documentary that is coming out this week that somebody told me called The Pharmacist or something like that. And it's about this guy whose son dies of a heroin overdose, and so, or some kind of overdose, and he goes to try to find out like how he got hooked on it to begin with, and it's supposed to be really good. So I think I might start that. And then, what else did I do today? I bought 2 books on Audible. One is called The Gravity of Us, and it's about these 2 kids that are astronauts' sons, and they fall in love. This is like this new LGBT book, young adult LGBT book, that is being talked about left and right on BookTube. Like, everybody is talking about this book, and it just came out, so I got it on Audible, because it has like 10 narrators or something, and one of them is Bonnie Turpin. That's like my favorite narrator of life on Audible. So that was the one book that I got. And then the other book that I got, I think it's called Proof of Heaven. And it's by this neuroscientist who, I don't know if it's he or she. Their name, his or her name is like Eden or something like that. But they went into a coma because of this very serious disease they had. And while they were in this coma, had this like profound, life-altering, life-changing encounter with afterlife, and that's what the book is about. I've always been very interested in that. You know, like back in the day, I actually saw this book when I was looking it up. There was a book that I read years ago. It wasn't long, but it was like by that Betty J. Eads or whatever. I don't know how you pronounce her name. But it has like an angel on the front of it. And It was about near-death experiences. In the late 80s, early 90s, there were a lot of books that came out about near-death experiences. And I don't really know what I think about that. I don't really know how I feel, if I believe in them or not. But this book said on there, like, if you're a non-believer, it'll make you a believer. I don't think it's, like, super, like, religious. I think it's more just about... I'm going to pull in here in a second and I'll tell you what it's called. I think it's more of just about an afterlife. Supposedly he like had some encounter with some family member that had passed that he never even met or knew about. Or she did. I don't know. I don't know the gender of the writer. So I'm really excited about reading that book. I think I might actually make it the Peterisms extra credit book for February, because I'm going to read it in February. So there was that, and then I was like, I think this is our friend's husband. I was going to wave and say hi, because they used to live right around the corner, but Alex just told me that they moved, and they moved kind of far away, so it can't be them anymore. Plus, I don't think he drove a pickup truck. But anyway... You ever think you see people that you know, and then you're like, no, that can't be them? But like, I can only see him from the side. If he like looked right over here, I would know if it was him. And he's like bopping his head, and he's like dancing. I'm like, I don't think it's him, but I can't really tell through the window. He's like bopping his head to the music. He will not look over here. I'm like, can you look over here so I can see if it's you or not? He's not gonna look over here. Anyway, so yeah, I was just listening to that song that's on the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack, that Shoop song. All you gotta do is shoot, and do. Okay, here, I'm gonna pull in here and I'll tell you what this book is called. I was like, did it just start raining? And it's like, that's coming off there. Proof of Heaven by Eben Alexander. And, I'll tell you the famous book. Near-Death Experience book. Oh, Raymond Moody, Life After Life. I read that one too. Proof of Heaven, it's right here. It's in Spanish. La Prueba de Celia. Where is the one I'm talking about? What is this? Oh, this is by the same guy. The Map of Heaven, How Science, Religion, and Ordinary People Are Proving the Afterlife. Ooh, I might have to read that one too. Here it is. Embraced by the Light. By Betty Eady. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Eady or Eddie. What's that one that... 90 Minutes in Heaven. I think I read that one. About the little boy. Didn't they come out and say that that wasn't true? Heaven is for real. But I thought they came out... The Boy Who Didn't Come Back from Heaven, Inside a Bestseller's Deception. Okay, little boy who claimed to die and visit heaven admits he made it up. And then it says, wow, we have a little sinner on our hands. My Lord! Anyway, are any of you guys interested in that stuff? I just guess, you know, like, I don't know. I know this is going to sound kind of weird and maybe kind of sadly pathetic, but like for me, I think having so much loss in my life, and I was interested in it before that anyway, you know, it's like, I kind of like some kind of proof, you know, or burning bush kind of moment, like where I'm like, you know, where I hear somebody's story and it convinces me to, you know, without a doubt. I guess that's really what faith is, isn't it? Like, believing in something that you can't prove. So, probably there is no such thing as that, you know, but now it's too hot in here. But I'm fascinated in reading stuff like that. It's really interesting. I'm sitting here saying this, and I was just like driving by and I looked over. I'm like sitting here talking about signs, and there was like a street light, and it was shining. This just happened. There was a street light, and it was shining on the, there's probably all kinds of orbs around me or something in this video too. The street light was shining on the sign, and I've never really seen this happen before. I don't know, but I watch stuff like this all the time because I'm constantly driving and looking at things. But this light was shining on the street light, or the street signs, and the street signs crossed, like looked down. It looked like it was a sign of a cross on the grass, the shadow. Isn't that weird? Right after I said that happened. Anyway. So we went to the meeting tonight, picked up Tanya. My sponsor was at her house, our sponsor. So we went to the meeting. Tanya got her coin. Our sponsor gave her coin for 24 years. And let's see, what else? Had a great meeting, talked about inventory. And then afterwards, a bunch of us went to Steak and Shake. That's where Tanya wanted to go, because we used to always go to Steak and Shake back in the day, like after meetings sometimes. Like when she first got sober. So that's where she wanted to go. And for a long time, we used to always, a bunch of us would go to Steak and Shake. It would be like a table of like 20 of us, you know. So a ton of us went tonight, and it was really fun, and I ate like crap. I forgot what it's like to get so many people in recovery out to dinner at the same time. We're all talking at the same time, trying to tell stories and remember so-and-so, and oh, I miss this person, and what happened to that person, and it was nice. A lot of these people I don't get to see, you know, well, I could, but I mean, I just don't see them outside of meetings and stuff, and our lives have kind of gone in different directions. I think that's the one thing that's, you know, when you're in early sobriety, it's like, like that's really like all you do, I think, in early sobriety for a while is like you go to meetings, you fellowship. That's called fellowshipping. You go to meetings, you fellowship, you hang out with other people in sobriety, and you know, like I can remember like in early sobriety, I would go to 2 meetings a day, and I was like, and every night I was hanging out with people in sobriety. But then you get sober, and you get a job, get a relationship, you get all these things, you get them or you get them back, all these things that you never had or that you lost as a result of your addiction. And so that's life. You know, you get a life because you get sober, and if you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing, then you receive a life as a result of that, right? And so life comes in the way of that, and I think it's a very, very careful balancing act of continuing to work a program, go to meetings, have a sponsor, but also have a life. And so the people that you saw when you first got sober, like you can't have, I mean, it's completely impossible to, I mean, it's not impossible, but I don't know, you kind of feel like maybe you don't need that anymore to, you know, like work 40 hours a week, you know, have a partner, you know, go out to dinner and dates with them, see your other friends that you've now made as a result of being sober, co-workers, and still go to 2 meetings a day and hang out with people in the program. It just doesn't happen that way, you know? I've heard so many people, and I would say this is my same experience too, talk about how 2 years sober is really, really tough. Because at 2 years, it's like almost everything that you lost or everything that you never had if you got sober early, like I did, as a result of, you know, drinking and drugging. It's like now you have all those things, and it's like all of a sudden, not necessarily your sobriety is taking it back, you know, stage to your sobriety, or, you know, backseat to your life, but your sobriety, like, actions, like going to 7 meetings a week and doing this. And I still know people that do that they are, you know, have service positions, like 2 or 3 service positions, and they go to tons of meetings, and they sponsor 1,000 people and whatever, you know, and they're very active, but they're married, and they have kids, and they, you know, all this kind of stuff. But I will say that those people that I know often will say things to me like, I feel like, you know, like, well, I don't give my wife, you know, what she needs, like, I'm not there enough, or I feel like, you know, I'm missing my kids this, or I wish, you know, I was better at the service work that I do, or what. I mean, it seems like some area of their life they feel is deficient because of trying to balance it all. You just can't do it, you know? It's hard. I think it's the same idea, you know. I mean, I don't know that I think it's really a whole lot different in reality of, like, having, you know, 4 best friends in high school or 4 best friends in college, and you guys say we're going to hang out together for the rest of our lives. Well, you might be close friends for the rest of your lives. You know, Alex has kept close with his high school friends. His 2 closest friends are his high school friends, you know. But I don't know that the relationship doesn't look the same as it did when you were in high school. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be the same relationship. You're not going to be, like, sleeping over each other's houses on weekends every weekend. And, I mean, not when you're 30 or 35, 40. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe. I'm sure that there are rare cases where that happens. But it's like, as people get lives and they meet partners and they have kids and responsibilities, it's like the friendship changes over time, you know? I think that's one of the things that's hard about getting older, when you realize it's like, I didn't necessarily want this friendship to change, but it changed and it evolved because of real stuff that I had going on in my life. You know what I mean? So, like, when mom and dad say, I know you think you're going to be friends with them forever, but that's just not the case. Like, the reality is, that might be the case. You might be friends with those people forever, but it won't be the same kind of friendship, you know? And I think even as adults, we know that, like, whatever friendships you have today, 5 years down the road, will probably look completely different. You know, people move for jobs, people get married, people get partners, whatever, you know? But, and I think the hard part is not getting jaded about that, and not getting cynical and being like, well, I'm never going to make any more friends because what's the point? You know, like, they're just, you know, people just grow up and whatever. I know that, like, when I was working, you know, I worked with, well, I only worked with one other guy on our clinical team. So, and he and I were close, like, as coworkers, but we weren't, like, super close personally. But a lot of the women I was close with that I worked with, well, you know, every single one of them at one point or another was single or dating somebody. And then they would, and I was real close with them then, and we would talk on the phone every night and go out to dinner, you know, after work and stuff, and hang out on the weekends sometimes, and, you know, and then they would get engaged, and then they would get married, and I would always go to the wedding, and I would be a big part of all of that, you know, and then they would have kids, and it was like, before I knew it, you know, it was like this friendship that I had 2 years before, that I was super close with this person, you know, because for me, it was probably never gonna be, my relationship with Alex now is probably I mean, obviously, because we're married and stuff, but as far as, like, responsibilities and, you know, coming home and sitting down together and talking and all that, I mean, this is probably the most normal relationship I've ever had that looks like that, right? I mean, like, before, it's always like, it's just been different, you know? So I always had like a coworker, girlfriend, best friend kind of thing that I, you know, would hang out with, and that, you know, Tanya's always been my best friend, but well, I mean, before I met Tanya, I had other people, but, you know, in work, I always had that one person that I talked to every night, you know, whatever. But, like, then their kids would get older, and they would, you know, have dance recitals and, you know, football practice and soccer on Saturday mornings, and they weren't staying up late talking on the phone anymore, and they weren't wanting to go get dinner after work because they had a husband to get home to and make dinner for the kids. And, you know, so, I mean, I flipped through about 5 or 6 people in my course of like 13 years that I grew really, really close to. And then just, you know, we were like really super close, and then the end of it was there really was no friendship there at all by the end, because life changed. And I guess I was never bitter about it. Like, I always knew, like, as I was sitting there, that, like, I wanted them to be, you know, happy and have relationships and all that. I mean, I wanted that for the people that I was, you know, friends with and worked with. But at the same time, it was hard, because it was like I could see it, you know, like us changing over time. And I think, like, you know, Alex has been really good about encouraging my friendship with Tanya and being like, go hang out with Tanya tonight, you know. And now that Sarah lives here, and she lives literally, you know, 2 blocks from us or whatever, you know, it's nice because he can go over there, put on his PJs, and, like, sit in her living room, and they just, like, watch stupid TV and, like, eat snacks for 4 hours straight, you know. And it's nice. And, you know, he didn't get to have that for 10 years of us being together, because she lived in California. And I'm welcome over there, and he's welcome over at Tanya's. I'm just so thankful that we have that, you know. But, you know, even with Tanya, it was hard. Like, she and I have talked a lot about this, you know. I mean, I've been friends with Tanya since her son was... She and I were doing the math about this just last night. I must have vlogged first last night and then gone and got Tanya. Is that what happened last night? That is what happened last night, because I'll tell you something funny about that in a second. But, so I think Nick was like 4, maybe? Hold on a second. So, okay. She said 24. So he's 27 minus 24 is 3. And then I met her. So he was between 4 and 5 when she and I became friends. And, you know, like, that was like family dinner time. And I mean, she and I were hanging out like every day. Not like we do now. It wasn't like fountain pops and stuff like that. But it was like every day, you know, I would like stop by her house, or I was over at her house. It was at the end. It was like every day I was, you know, at her house, or, you know, she would have me over for dinner a lot, or, you know, my ex and I would stop by there a lot. Well, okay, so when I first met her, that would have been with my ex, and he worked 2 jobs. So he worked at this music store at the mall, and then he also worked at the Marriott. He did room service, which was so fantastic, because he would bring home, like, literally, like, every day. He would bring home, like, tiramisu, like, this big, huge container. And I was working out every day, too. He would bring home this big container of, like, tiramisu, whatever extra desserts they had, he would bring them home. And I would just sit there and eat it while we were watching some TV show. But anyway, he was so busy that he didn't get home. Like, I think, like, room service, he got off at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. It was crazy, 2 or 3. So I would be at Tanya's in the evening, you know? And I can remember calling her and being like, you know, like, later, and being like years later, and being like, hey, what are you doing? I was gonna stop by. And she'd be like, well, you know, it's math homework night tonight, because she on Wednesday nights would do math homework with Nick, and they would sit down, and she would go over all of his homework for the past week, and she kind of like tutored him a little bit, which is crazy, because he's like super smart when it comes to math and science. And so those math sessions that I gave up for Wednesday nights must have really came in handy. No, but you know, and I always respected that, and I always knew, like, tonight's not a night to stop by or whatever, you know. But like, our friendship even changed at one point. I think, you know, it was weird too, because like I can remember when like he could drive and he got a car and was going places with his friends, and you know, Tanya and I would be sitting there, and it like that changed our friendship too, because all of a sudden she needed me more. You know what I mean? Like, because he was her buddy for a long time. She and I were always really close, but like, you know, on off hours kind of thing. And then all of a sudden he's like, come home from school, puts the backpack down, okay, bye mom, see you later. And all of a sudden she's like wanting to go do something, you know, and so she's calling me. And Eric works so hard that, you know, like when he comes home, he just like likes to sit in a chair and watch TV. So, you know, she'd spend the night with him, spend the night, you know, and then I'd come and get her for a fountain pop after, you know, like, it's very similar to how it is now. That's kind of when that whole thing started for us, was, you know, Eric and Alex go to bed about the same time, and then Tanya and I go to bed later. That's how the fountain pop thing kind of started. So it's hard over time, you know, friendships change, I think. I don't even know how I got on talking about this. I get like in one thing and I go off in a direction, I don't even know. Oh, I was talking about like my friends in recovery that I don't get to see very often anymore. But yeah, it was really nice tonight. We had so much fun, we laughed, and I ate bad. I had a grilled cheese and french fries and onion rings and a root beer. But it was fun. We had a good time. And then we drove around with my sponsor for a little bit and talked to her. Well, our sponsor. Ooh. Ooh. What is... No. It's like lemonade or something. I can't do that. Ugh. Tanya Jean, what is this crap? And you know what? I know I have another bottle just like this in the back seat. And I am so thirsty. They're all Starbucks cups back there. But I will tell... No, I can't move my coat because my coat is holding them in place. Do you ever wish you could get your arm down the other side of the seat, but you know you can't? Anyway. I should probably just stop somewhere and pull it out, shouldn't I? I mean, not family friendly, my lord. Pull the water bottle out. I will, because then I'm going to throw away her bottle of water, lemon, whatever juice that is back there. She's probably drinking that Crystal Light stuff. She's always doing something like that. Her and my sponsor both are constantly taking bottles of water. My sponsor brought her bottle of water right into Steak and Shake tonight. I said, girl, what are you doing? She goes, oh, I take my bottle of water with me everywhere. It has, you know, she puts those little squirts of that Crystal Light or whatever in it. And it was just some bottle like that, something that you buy. But it wasn't that, it was something else. She was like, I take it in everywhere that I go. I was like, you are so funny. It was fun. It kind of made me miss the good old days. The good old days. Whenever I pass this Boston market, I think it's so strange. It's like, I have not been to a Boston market. And I cannot even tell you how long, but I used to love, back in the day, their macaroni and cheese and their chicken pot pies. I think they have like baked apples that are really good too. Do they even have a chicken pot pie? Am I crazy? Am I losing my mind? Okay, hold on just a second. Here's my bottle of water that I was looking for. Here's my Starbucks cup that I was looking for when I talk about. Okay. Okay, these are the things I have in my back seat. We're gonna show these really quick. So I think this is from Danielle. Maybe not. No, this is not from Danielle. Daniel, I think I may have I think I showed your bracelet already. If it has something to do with dogs and you sent it to me for pee-pee, I showed it on here already. And if I didn't, I will show it again, because I know exactly what you're talking about then. If that's, message me, Danielle, email me. I know you have my email. Unless it's in one of these cards, but it's not. No, I know these aren't you, because I know that where you live, and this is not you. Okay. So, let's see if this has on here. Who sent this to me? It doesn't. This is from... It doesn't say who ordered it from me. I hate that. This is from Walmart, and it is Lip Freak Coco Loco Mint that they sent me. And it sees Lip Freak Buzzing. I did a video of this on my YouTube channel, actually. So I will show this in a further video down the road. Here, let me put this right here. So whoever sent this to me, thank you. I don't know who did that. And then, there is no message inside of this from who sent it to me. Thank you for your order. You made our day. It doesn't say who sent it to me. But it is this. I love this. Do you see? You can put it on your door or outside, and it says love. And then it has a little place right here where you can put the nail and stuff, which this is going to be perfect because we took down our wreath. So now this can go where our wreath went. Okay, and then I have 2 cards, and this is literally everything that I have that I've received in my post office from the last time that I opened them to now. Oh, hold on with this. So it says, it's this card. You can't really see it, can you? But it says, dogs just know when they are loved, even at the end, when their pain becomes too much to bear, and we help them to find rest. No pet could have had a more loving home than the one you gave yours. I'm so sorry for your loss. Peter, Alex, Tucker, and Boo Radley. I wanted to express my condolences and sympathy for the loss of your best friend, Pee-Pee. Peter, you've brought a lot of heartfelt advice, life-encouraging words, and happiness to me in the last year. Thank you, and I'm sorry. And this is from Faith. Thank you so much, Faith. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Oh, there's like a little cardinal on the front of it. There's little birds. Aww. And then, oh, this is from Renee. I got it. Oh my God, you guys are going to die. I cannot believe this. This is unreal. Renee and Faith sent the exact same card. Who would have guessed? Oh my God, I love that. That is serendipity. Dear Peter, Alex, Tucker, and Boo, no pet could have had a more loving home than the one you gave yours. I'm so sorry for you all. I love this card so much. I have 2 of them. With deepest sympathy, love, Renee. Oh, Renee, that was so sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It is a beautiful card. I think that's kind of funny. I like that. So that's everything I have. So Danielle, I think if what you're talking about is a bracelet that has like dog little charms on it, I believe I showed it on here already. And if I didn't, then it's because I showed Alex, and I thought I already showed it in the vlog. I think I showed one night to Alex and Tanya. But will you let me know, and will you email me, and then I will, because I want to make sure that I didn't lose it or something, and then I will, show it in the video. Okay, let me get comfortable. That was not a great look, but whatever. It doesn't matter, does it? Okay. Are we ready? My phone has not charged a whole lot. I bought this air freshener for my car. It's called Forest. Who makes this? I think it's Glade. It smells so good. I got in my car and I was like, whose cologne is that? That was in my car. It was so fantastic. I have in my car, I bought this one called Febreze. This is Aqua. And then I bought, you can tell I'm getting really ready for summer. This one is Rejuvenating Ocean Breeze. And then I have this Fresh Harvest Pumpkin. Oh, I bought that the other day, didn't I? Did I have one in here that was already opened? What is that? No. And then I think I've decided that it's so hot, come on tonight. What I might start doing is I might start, I'll go down over here so I can get through. I'm thinking about starting on my review channel because I buy so many things like in a week that I try new, like that. Like I bought this face wash last night because so many people gave me a hard time for using the Mrs. Meyer's face wash. It's just like some cheap face wash I got at Meijer. But I get new stuff all the time, you know? Whether it's cleaning products, toilet paper, you know, like a new cologne, whatever it could be. It could be 50 cents, it could be $10, it could be $100, right? And so I thought that like on my review channel, like once a week, what I would do, I used to do favorites. But instead what I would do is that I would talk about the products that I tried the previous week. Does that make sense? I think it would be a good video because I wouldn't go out of my way to buy things that I wouldn't normally buy. I would just buy things that I was gonna buy anyway, you know what I mean? Like if I'm at Meijer and I'm like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, meaning over the period of a week, if I bought one thing a day, that would end up being, you know, 6 or 7 things over the period of a week. See how bad my math is. It would be 7 things is what it would be over the period of a week. So, but you know, like if I bought more, I could do, you know, 10 things, 15 things. If I only went to the store once, you know, and bought 4 or 5 things, I just think it would be a way to, and just give like a really honest review about those things that all of us buy when we go to the store. It's like, oh, I'm going down the aisle with Tanya and I'm looking for a face wash. I'll buy this. You know, I bought something else. There was like 3 things I bought yesterday because it was making me think about it. Well, I bought this new air freshener thing, and then I bought the face wash. There was something else. I took it upstairs tonight because I took all my stuff. So, do you ever do this? Like when you're sorting through your bags after you go shopping, it's like, okay, this goes in the car, this goes in. Okay, but like here's a good example. So I bought this the other day. Where is it? It's like my favorite hand sanitizer of life. No, I can't find it in here. But it says Mrs. Meyer's hand sanitizer. This is lavender, but they also had basil. So like I would buy basil instead of lavender, and then I would try that for a week and I would give you my full review. But it would just be like random stuff that I would buy, you know, like at the store and whatever. I think I'm gonna start doing that. I love that channel. I have so much fun on that channel. Every day to just get to kind of think of things that I want to review. It's so fun. So yeah, I don't know what book I'm gonna read next. I really wanna read The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks, I think is who it's by. Just because I've heard such great things about it. I think that probably will be the next book I read, but I also really wanna read that neuroscientist book, and that book is only 6 hours. So I'm thinking like, I may read the Greer Hendricks book next, although that would be a good book to read on vacation too. But you know when I'm on vacation, I think I was gonna say this last night and I never really got to it. I don't really listen to audiobooks on vacation. Back in the day I did, and when we were in Miami in the spring, it must have been then because we got stuck at the airport. Like something was wrong with our flight. We got stuck there for a long time. Do you remember what I'm talking about? And was it Florida though, or were we somewhere else where we got stuck there for a long time? And they were gonna bump our flight and they were gonna give us free tickets and all this extra money and stuff. If we were willing to like not take that flight because they had overbooked. Well, I can't, maybe it was Detroit? I don't remember. Detroit, Rock City! I don't remember where it was. But anyway, I was listening to Michael Connelly, and I think it was Michael Connelly, and I think it was called The Night Show, and I really liked it. It was like a thriller. I don't remember anything about it, to be honest, but it was about a woman detective. I do remember that. I wonder if I like read the synopsis, if I would remember anything about it. I just remember it was really, really good, and it had just come out, and I bought it because I wanted to like listen to like a really good thriller while we were on vacation. Is that what did I call it? Midnight Caller? It wasn't called something Caller. It was the Night Game, or the Midnight Game, or something like that. Why can't I remember what that book is called? I'm gonna pull in a Steak and Shake. This is where we went to go eat tonight, but this is, you've never been to Steak and Shake, but this is not the Steak and Shake that we went to. We went to a different one. They have like 50s diner food. They have like Frisco burgers and double triples and stuff like that. Well, you know what'll be interesting is I can go in here and it'll tell me exactly when I read it. Michael Connelly. The Late Show. Okay, when did I read it? It doesn't say. Of course not. Edit your review. Oh, it does say. September 15th, 2017. August 27th. That was our anniversary, so 2 years ago we would have been going to Vegas. Is that where we went? No, I think that we went to Miami 2 years ago for our anniversary, and that was the year that it like rained and rained and rained and rained and rained. Oh, I didn't even read what it was about, the synopsis. God, I feel like it wasn't that long ago that I read that book. From New York Times bestselling author Michael Connelly, a new thriller introducing a driven young detective trying to prove herself in the LAPD. Renee Ballard works a night shift in Hollywood, beginning many investigations but finishing none, as each morning she turns her cases over to day shift detectives. A once-up-and-coming detective, she's been given this beat as punishment after filing a sexual harassment complaint against a supervisor. But one night she catches two cases she does... I remember like homeless people or something with this. But one night she catches two cases she doesn't want to part with. The brutal beating of a prostitute left for dead in a parking lot, and a killing of a young woman in a nightclub shooting. Ballard is determined not... I don't remember the nightclub shooting at all. Ballard is determined not to give up at dawn. Against orders and her own partner's wishes, she works both cases by day while maintaining her shift by night. As the cases entwine, they pull her closer to her own demons and the reason she won't give up her job no matter what. I don't remember this book. Is there a Renee Ballard? It says Renee Ballard one. Oh, there's been more. Well, with the Harry Bosch. I'm not a Harry Bosch fan. Like, I can't believe I don't remember that book at all. Well, I guess it has been 2 years. I mean, who would? Oh, what did I even give it? I didn't even know what I gave it. The Night Show. Hold on, I gotta put it back in here again. This is why you have Goodreads. Oh my God. Michael Connelly. Connelly. Is it Connelly or Connelly? It's not even pulling up because I'm calling it something wrong. The Late Show. I gave it 4 stars. Let's see what I said. This was actually a great mystery, and I love that Connelly introduced a new detective. Ballard is a new fave. But other than that, it's pretty run-of-the-mill murder investigation. You love it if that's your thing. 87%. I have to watch my review. I don't remember that. Let's see. I got 3 notifications. Somebody liked my update for Call Me God, the untold story of the DC sniper investigation. Well, I'm almost done with that book. I was telling a friend of mine tonight that she should read it. And I said, you know, it's weird because it's not like, it's hard with true crime because it's like, I want to say like, it's so good, but like the book is so good. Like it is really a fascinating read, but it's about a tragedy. So it's like, how do you say that's good? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not the appropriate word to use. I don't know what to say. It's intriguing. It's interesting. I think it's well written. I think they pay homage to the victims, and they're appropriate to the victims in the book. But it's like an interesting read. Like, you don't want to put it down. It's really that good. I actually can't believe it's taken me this long to read. I thought I'd probably, like, after I started listening that first night, I was like, I'm gonna finish this tomorrow. But other stuff has just come up. I wanted to really finish AJ and the Queen, so I was like, I've got to finish another, you know, series. Maybe that should be another goal of mine. I know this is kind of a silly goal, but maybe I should try to finish one season of a TV show a month. So I finished AJ and the Queen in January. Well, I mean, January, February. Don't F with Cats. And there was something else that I watched. Oh, The Confession Killer. So this whole goal of mine to kind of relax and watch more things and whatever and enjoy my downtime, like, I really have been doing that. It's been nice. Dream. Alex's friend Sarah has been in Florida visiting family. She's been gone for like 10 days. He's like so excited to see her. I'm excited to see her too. I was giving her a hard time on the phone. She was like, she was asking me stuff about like different things I review. She was like asking me all these questions about the different things that I review. I have to have her come do a video with me, like a review video. Oh man. I was daydreaming out this car window and it stopped on me. I was like, oh man. Oh. What else? I'm ready for spring. I was standing outside with the dogs today. Well, I was kind of like standing in the door, almost going outside because it was so cold and rainy. Boo Radley looked at me. He's so funny. Sometimes with Boo Radley, it looks like, because like his back is almost taller than his front, like he kind of, you know what I mean? And he's got these long legs. And so I sing to him that song. Why'd you come in here looking like that with your high heel boots and your painted on jeans? I don't know why I sing that song to him, because it just cracks me up, because sometimes he looks like he's got painted on jeans and high heel boots. I don't know why. It just cracks me up so much. So anyway, he went outside today in the rain, and he turned around and looked at me like, are you coming out here? Because we don't want to go out and poop in the rain. And I was like, why'd you come in here looking like that? I don't even remember who sings that song, but I used to. It's not Dolly. I love Dolly Parton, but there are so many references to great music, like Dolly Parton and all these people, and Judy Garland, and this Christmas drag show thing that RuPaul and her friend do, and AJ and the Queen is like hilarious. I mean, the moment is very tragic of what happens afterwards, and I'm not ruining it for you, because if you watch it, you know, like leading up to that something's gonna happen, but it's just so hilarious leading up to it. That's like that kind of campy fun drag I love. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Ooh, it's getting chilly in here again. It's like, turn that off, then it gets chilly. But I was standing outside on the patio, and I was like watching the dogs. And do you know, like at night, you need to watch your dogs for coyotes? Like, we have coyotes all over the place, and I spot them like nobody's business. And they are big, you guys. I said it to Alex. Alex goes, it was a dog, it wasn't a coyote. I go, Tanya, or I was gonna tell something else, but something that Tanya and I were saying at Meyer last night. Anyway, I said, Alex, it was not a dog, it was a coyote. I know the difference. He goes, how do you know the difference? I said, because I've seen a coyote before. So, you have to be careful. But anyway, while I was standing on the patio, I was like, oh, I always say this every year, but last year I did it. I like made our patio really nice. And this year I want to get even more plants. And I want to get if the waterfall thing isn't working. I'm gonna get rid of it and I'm gonna get a new one. Old Time Pottery. Oh my God, that was, do you remember the one night that I was vlogging and I was trying to think of the store on the south side that was kind of like Pier 1, but not? It's called Old Time Pottery. Not Old Time Pottery Barn, just Old Time Pottery. That's what it's called. But anyway, I don't know why I have my wallet still in my pocket if I'm going to General Steak and Shake. So anyway, I was thinking of all the things I'm gonna do back there this spring and summer and make it real nice. Because that brought me a lot of joy last year. I'm gonna find a tree that Mrs. Birdie can come and live in that's not right on top of our, what do you call it? Oh, our porch light, because Alex won't have that. There are these things, I want to know if anybody has ever had one of these before and if they work. Because if they work, I'm going to buy one. They have them at Meijer. They look like birdhouses. These jeans are just not comfortable. They're like riding up. Riding up my butt. But anyway, I mean, they're like sliding down, not riding up. But I probably need to be a few pounds thinner and they would fit a little bit more comfortable. But we won't have that conversation tonight. I saw these things when I went to Meijer last night with Tanya. So we went to Meijer because she had to get a bunch of stuff. And they had these things that were like wooden birdhouses. Have you seen them? But they're just very plain wooden looking. And looking. Wooden looking. Plain wood looking. Okay? And then they have these slats in them. And it's actually a butterfly house, not a bird house. It's a butterfly house because butterflies can go in there and they can hide because apparently butterflies are attacked. I did not know this, okay? And they can rest and they can sleep in these bird houses. Is this thing a joke? Like, I want to get one, right? Because I just like the concept of having butterflies live around me. I just think that that's kind of cool and magical. But like, am I being taken as a fool? I mean, like, because I was like, how do the butterflies get into this thing, okay? Like, I mean, it's literally like these slats that are like this. And I'm like, how do they get in there? And apparently they wedge themselves in between things or whatever. I don't know. So I'm thinking about getting one of these. Should I? I don't know. I wanted to get a bird thing for the back of my, in the woods where the birds are back there. But I think somebody, either an animal or somebody, took something of mine down. And I'm not very happy about it. Took my little seed thing back there down. I was pissed about that. Do you know what I should do? Oh my God. My aunt did this so the house that I grew up in, it truly did have woods behind it. It had like a mile of woods behind it. And it had a creek that ran for, oh God, miles. And so we were always playing in the woods and in the creek and stuff when I was a kid. Well, my aunt, when we were building the house, my aunt Kathy, when we were building the house, she came and she brought like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 huge bags of wildflower seed. And she just went through there and just put it everywhere. So every summer, every spring and summer, our backyard, like the woods, you would look out and it was just, for days, it was just wildflowers for days and days and days and days and days. It was beautiful. So you would look in the woods, like you look, you know, I'd look out my bedroom window. My bedroom window looked right into the woods. Well, actually it looked onto the creek and then into the woods. And a creek is like a little river, if you don't know what it is. And it was deep in some areas and shallow in others. And I know it's hard to believe, but little kid Peter would go down there with his friends and we would catch crawdads and we would make little tidal poles and all that kind of stuff and capture tadpoles in areas, and we would walk the creek for miles. I had this friend of mine one time, he and I, it was in the winter, and we were, because the creek would freeze over, and so it was real fun to get like your moon boots on, you know, those big boots, and we would walk on the creek for just forever. And so we were, because at one point the woods and the creek come out, if you live in Carmel, Indiana, or anywhere near it, it's called Cool Creek, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it comes out onto a golf course. So we were like probably 100 feet from the golf course, and then we were going to cut up the street and go home. And I saw something shiny, and I didn't know what it was. I think it was my hand, not my foot. I almost thought it was my hand because my hand was free, not my foot was in the boot. And so I reached down to see what this was, and this trap goes on my hand. It was like this old rusted hunting trap got on my hand, and I couldn't get it was like my thumb or something. I couldn't get it out of this trap. And it was like snowing, it was cold outside, and so my friend had to leave me there. He was like really scared. I just saw him not too long ago. This is really weird. Alex and I were Alex knows his wife. I saw him at another place too. I saw him at Best Buy one day, but I think I talked about this on here. I don't really remember the story 100%, but all I know is that he went and he like got my dad. My dad came. Like got my mom. Like he went to my mom's, and then my mom called my dad, and my dad came, I think. And I remember being really scared at first because it was like dark by the time that they came. But then there was this overwhelming like peace that came over me, just like sitting in the woods by myself. Like I was afraid at first, and then I wasn't. It was really weird. Something like that. But yeah, so I should get wildflowers and pour them all over in our woods, and then our neighbors will be like, oh my God, look at where all these wildflowers came from. Peter did it. Okay, let me tell you last night. So this was the funny thing I was gonna say about, well, it's not really funny, but whatever. You won't find it funny. I thought it was funny. So my sponsor, she has this Keurig, okay? And she doesn't shut up about this Keurig. I was just teasing her about it tonight. She talks about this Keurig. She's like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with that Keurig. Have you ever seen, okay, you know who Kathleen Turner is? My sponsor sounds identical to her. She has like a real deep, raspy voice. So she's like, oh my God. I'm like, how many lattes have you had today? I've been drinking lattes all day today. She's so funny. So anyway, she has this Keurig latte maker, and I love my sponsor. She is just, I mean, you talk about magical. She's one of the most magical beings ever. I love her. And so she's always talking about these lattes that she makes in this Keurig machine. So I wanted to get this Keurig machine to make lattes, because even though I don't really drink lattes, but I just thought I needed to have it because I thought, well, maybe I would like to drink lattes. And she said you could do espressos and all kinds of things. It makes the foam one. I was real excited, right? So the other day, I was at Meijer. This when Tanya was out of town. And I'm looking at all the Keurigs, and I'm like, they have all these Keurigs there, right, at the Meijer. And I'm like, I mean, I put the in front of everything, so Meijer, but I call it the Meijer. So anyway, I'm there, and I'm looking at these Keurigs, and they've got a lot of cute Keurigs, but they don't have one that has a latte machine in it. And I'm like, she doesn't know what she is talking about. She's probably just adding the milk where the water's supposed to go, and she's calling it a latte or something, okay? I was like, she does not know what she is talking about. So I'm like so convinced there is not one of these things, right? So Tanya and I are like walking through there last night, and I was like, I want to show you these latte, or this Keurig. She goes, oh, are you gonna get you know, a latte Keurig maker like our sponsor? And I said, well, I want one. I said, but I think she made it up in her head. I said, I don't think that's really what it's about. I said, you know where the water goes on the side? I said, I think she puts milk or something over there, and she doesn't really like know what she's supposed to do with it. My husband is texting me. I said, I don't think she really knows what she's supposed to be doing with it or something like that. But I said, but that can't be, because she's always talking about how she's making the most fantastic lattes, and ever since she got this latte maker, she doesn't want Starbucks anymore, and it makes the most fantastic lattes in the entire world. And Tanya goes, well, they exist. And I go, no, they don't, Tanya Jean. I go, there's nothing like that out there. And she goes, yeah. And I go, oh, really? And she goes, yeah, it's right here in front of me. And it was on the other side, and I came around, I go, oh my God, I was so dumb, I didn't even know. I sit there and called her out for being a liar. And there this thing is right there existing right in front of my face. I got laughing so hard, I thought it was so funny. I know it's not real funny, but anyway. Then afterwards, Tanya and I drove around for a while. But I'm trying to figure out where to get off here to see what my husband is texting me. But I don't know where to get off. I don't know what exit to get off here. That's gonna make it the easiest way, where I don't have to like go a mile out of my way. But anyway, So then, we go back to Tanya's house, and we're sitting there, and she's putting stuff away, and I went inside to use the restroom, because I was going to listen to my audiobook. Oh, this is what happened. This is why I went back home and watched AJ and the Queen, because after that I was just tired, and I told her, I said, I just want to sit and watch a TV show. She goes, will you just stay here? And I said, no, I just kind of want to be at home in bed, and I just want to watch it on my phone or whatever. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and we walk in, and there is some movie on, right? And I'm like, I know this movie. I know my mother loved this movie, and I love this movie, but I can't clock the movie, right? And it's Glenn Close. He is rapid fire texting me. And I'm like, what is this movie? Like, I cannot figure it out for the life of me. And I said, Tanya, what is this movie? And she goes, Jagged Edge. And I go, oh my God, that's what this is. This is Jagged Edge. And it is this fantastic thriller. Have you ever seen it? It is so good. And I go, yeah, she's his attorney or something like that. And she goes, Tanya tells me the whole movie in 5 seconds. She's like, oh yeah, he had an affair with her. I had an affair on her. And then she gets really upset. And he was seducing people with these horses. And I said, what are you talking about? I sat there and I watched about 45 minutes of this movie. I was just like this. I had forgotten how good it was. So if you've never seen Jagged Edge, you should check it out. It's definitely worth it. And then there was this one scene, it was so funny, because Glenn Close was like sitting in this doorway, and her like investigator comes up, and she's like crying like in this doorway of her apartment. She's like sitting up at the top of the stairs in like the doorway of the bathroom, and she's sitting there. And Tanya goes, Glenn Close always sits in that position. Like, I'm not, like, I was kind of talking to her in the kitchen, and I turned around, like, she like noticed it, and she goes, Glenn Close is, oh, this isn't where I want to go in. Tanya goes, Glenn Close always sits in that position, like in every movie that she goes in, like sitting in the doorway like that. And I turn and I look, and I go, she does. And both at the same time we go, The Big Chill. Because she does it in The Big Chill. I like, how do you have this way that you sit, that you do it like in 4 movies, you know? I used to not be a Glenn Close fan, but I'm like a huge Glenn Close fan now, I think. Obviously, that's because of the movie, the Jagged Edge movie. The Jagged Edge refers to the knife that he supposedly killed his wife with, had a jagged edge. But no, because of the movie The Wife. That movie was so good. Did you see it? Oh my God. Okay. You're like, you talk about this all the time. Where do I want to pull in here? That Kincaid's Meat Market. Oh, I think that they have a restaurant too, but I thought it looks like in the window, it looks like it's just where you go buy things. He was like, we're going to bed. Dream. Let's see what people have said on my vlog. Since I literally just posted it, and has 352 views, 15 comments, 43 likes, and 1 dislike. Let's see what people say. Melissa's telling about when she was visiting family in Maryland during the DC shootings. Weird Neffies talking about, I live in Northern Virginia and the sniper actually shot someone to some. Oh, they talk about that in the book, The Home Depot. More Than Bipolar said, hi, 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 hi. Angela said we need some TikToks. I know we do. I need to get on that tomorrow. Cynthia said, good evening, Peter. Just got into bed and drifting off to your... Aww. Kelly said, super excited to watch the vlog as always. Don't even worry about it. Oh my God, Twyler is irked, said, oh my God, I love the movies Lace with Phoebe Cates. They're so good, aren't they? I love the scene when she walks in and she's got that like negligee, like, you know, robe deal going on, and they're all sitting there and they're older and they look at her and they're just, you can tell that they're, number one, we don't know who the mother is, and number two, they're bitter as hell that she looks so good. Oh my God, Twyler, I love the movie Gia with Angelina Jolie, but it is so tragic, isn't it? True story, too. Brianna said, totally random, but I just wanted to recommend Green River Running Red by Anne Rule. Okay, so here's the deal with that, and Mel is listening to this vlog, I'm sure, so she could just get a whipping over this one. We were gonna read something about the Green River Killer, okay? Everybody has requested for us to do that. Mel went and read not one, but 2 books on the Green River Killer, and I think that's one of them that she read. So now it's like if we do it, she'll be completely bored, so I don't know if we're gonna do that or not, but thank you. We're probably gonna do another Anne Rule book at some point. I mean, she's kind of like the true crime writer. I mean, she's written so much. Crystal said, aw, smile, tomorrow will be a better day. Amy said, hello, hey, Amy. Carolyn said, Carolyn from Minnesota can finally go to bed to listen to your vlog. Oh, because I posted it so late, you guys. I actually totally forgot that I thought that I had posted it already, so I had to go into my phone and post it. Charity Seed, Charity! Blue hearts. Jessica gave blue hearts. Hey, Tammy. She gave blue hearts. Ambrosia. I love that name. Blue hearts. Elizabeth said, been waiting for your upload. Aww. Is this the same one? Yeah. Connie and Asbury. Blue hearts. Hold on a second. Hazel said, Monster DC Sniper, the podcast, is all about the DC shootings. It's so good, in case any of you out there are interested. But I will tell you this, that I know this already, after having listened to this book, Call Me God. There are a lot of true crime kind of stories that, when I'm done reading them, I'm just kind of done. Like, I cannot do it anymore. And this is definitely, let me go back to what I was looking at. Hold on a second. This is definitely one of them for me, that like, when I'm done with this, I'm gonna be done reading it. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be done. Oh, I didn't even look at, Alex is texting me back. Shoot. I think he just gave me a thumbs up, is what he gave me. Oh, love you too, babe. Thumbs up. With Ted Bundy, when I was done with A Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule, I was done reading about Ted Bundy. I didn't want to know any more about Ted Bundy. There's some of these cases, I don't know what it is. It's not even the most disturbing cases for me. Like John Wayne Gacy, I could probably read more about. Like if John Wayne Gacy's wife came out with a book, I think that would be interesting. Has she written a book? I don't know, right? I will tell you that the DC shooter, the Muhammad guy, his wife did write a book called, like, I'm Still Standing or something like that. His ex-wife. Certain cases, like when I read them, I have to say, most cases, I'm just kind of done. I'm like, Columbine is interesting to me because Columbine is one of those topics that I would love to hear more survivor stories. Like I would love to hear the interviews, or I would read a book from one of the survivors and what that experience was like. But the majority of these serial killer books that I read or things like that, like when I'm done reading it, like I'm done. Like I'm ready to like talk about it for the book discussion and then put it to rest. Like I don't really want to know a whole lot more about the case, the scene, whatever, unless there's been development since like the book came out, if that makes sense. But there's like all these little white fabric dots because they're inside this bean bag where the camera goes, and there's a rip or something in there, and they're always all over they get in like the lining here. But anyway, I don't know what that's about. I just kind of get over it. Like I'm just kind of like at some point, you know, it's like I've heard everything that I want to hear about this, and it's like I think it's like, I'm interested in the story as I'm reading it, but after a certain point, you realize that they are truly evil, and so, it's always at some point in the book that it flips for me. I don't know when it is. I'll tell you with the Israel Keys case, it's interesting to me. When Israel Keys was negotiating, while he was doing the interviews with the police, and he said that he would tell them what they wanted to know, but he would only release them a name at a time, and he was giving it so slowly to them, and he And he was like, you know, I've got all the time in the world, blah, blah, blah. You've got to make sure that I get the death penalty. I want the death penalty. Like, if you can give me the death penalty, then I'll give you what you want. And he still then wasn't even willing to give over the names of everybody he did anything to, right? But he was concerned about his daughter. Like, he was concerned about his daughter being, like, named, or people in the media knowing who she was and stuff like that. Which, if you think about this, okay, that means that he does have compassion in his heart. Like, he's not a man without a conscience, because he has conscience enough to know my daughter did not deserve to be affected by these crimes that I chose to commit, right? But those crimes that you chose to commit were taking people away from their family and their friends, killing people, ending their lives. But you're concerned about your daughter, which I think people should be concerned about their kids. But what that says then is that you are a man with a conscience that knew what you were doing. And I just, at that point, I was like, I can't fathom that in my head. So I can't do this anymore. Oh, it's gonna stop, hold on. Okay, so like in my head, I was like, I can't make sense of this in my head. So I just can't, you know? Like, it was a little bit how like, the Richard Kuklinski guy, the Iceman, was like, when, you know, he took care of his daughter in the hospital, but he's just like cold-heartedly killing people. But this was the difference, was that for some reason, I don't know why this made sense to me, he never wanted to know the background of the people. He never wanted to know why there was a hit out on them. He didn't want to know anything personal about them. So to him, it was just a job, right? Like, as sick as that sounds, like, as truly, truly sick as that sounds, I kind of get it, right? From like a psychopath's point of view, I can understand how they rationalize that. But there, like, a lot of this shit is just really, really sick. And as much as I love reading it, there becomes a point inside of me that I'm like, okay, I don't know that I want to read any more of this. Like, I know the story, I know the case, I know what happened, I like the point of view, but I don't want to read anymore. I think one of the reasons why I love reading them, the true crime books, from the point of view of the FBI or the police, is because there's always the element of justice to it. And I think for me, like, that's where it's intriguing to me, the investigation part, the hunting them down and finding them and things like that. I don't really want to know a whole lot about how they tick or why they tick or what makes them think and things like that. I don't want to. Once I start thinking about that kind of stuff, like, I have a hard time imagining evil like that existing anyway. And I just, it bothers me. So, you know, like, when I'm done reading one of these books, I'm kind of done with it. Like, I don't want to really know anything more about it. So, anyway, I'll have to talk to Mel about the Green River Killer. But I will tell you this. Ann Rule has written so many books about true crime. I feel like nobody is driving within the lines tonight. This car is like, this truck is coming at me and it's like, right in the line. But I will tell you that Ann Rule has written so many books on true crime. There was one, Sacrifices or something. That one looks good that somebody told us to read. My friend tonight, she reads so much true crime. And she was telling me about this case. I need to tell Mel about this. She's reading this book. And it's called something with the devil. And my friend used to live in New Orleans, and she was there when this happened, and it was about this guy that killed his girlfriend and then ate her. He was a cannibal. And she said the book is fantastic. Shit's very scary. And it's an interesting case. So, I don't know, we might have to read that. But yeah. I really have to, like, distance myself in reading true crime. Like, if it's too much, if like I'm like listening to a podcast, reading a book, like Google search, because I Google search a lot of this stuff too. Like, after the fact, I try to like find out about these cases and whatever. I sometimes kind of have to like distance myself. I mean, I think if you're going to be a true lover of true crime, like, you kind of have to really distance yourself from the reality or the truth of the story, if that makes sense. Because to really sit there and look at it as this like thing, this horrible thing that I mean, it's really hard, you know? It's like sometimes I read about these cases, you know, and it'll be like 11 girls went missing, you know, in 1976 or 74 or something, you know, in some trail, you know, in California. Nobody's heard from them since, and it happened over a 2-year period of time or something like that. And I'm like, 11 lives, you know? 11 families forever just devastated. And so it's so much more to me than just a story that you're reading or whatever, you know? And I think that goes back to, like, I don't know what to say to people when I say, like, this book is good, you should read it. Like, I don't know really even what I mean by that. Like, I don't know. But I also go into a lot of true crime with trying to think to myself, what's the takeaway? What's the lesson that can be learned, you know, by this case or reading this or whatever. So, anyway. All right, you guys, listen, I think I'm going to get off here now. And I'm going to finish my true crime book. But I do find it fascinating. I do like, you know, reading it. It's my favorite genre to read. Anyway, I didn't even know that this was all the way out here. This Urology of Indiana, Central Indiana Orthopedics. It seems kind of strange. Oh, they're building it. It seems kind of strange to be all the way out here. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Wednesday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Do something amazing today. Do something that will make yourself proud 5 or 10 years down the road. Do something fun today. Watch a great TV show. Eat some fun ice cream. I don't know. Try something new. Take a risk. Try peanut butter pancakes or something. Something you've never tried before. And most importantly, well, not most importantly, but I guess kind of importantly, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Look at the bags under my eyes. I can get some cold cream on there. Cold cream, do we call it that anymore? Anyway, make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say to yourself, I love you, you are valuable, you are important, you matter, you are beautiful. Today is going to be a great day, and 2020 is your year. Things are going to happen that are going to be amazing, positive, successful. This is going to be a good year for you this year. And the best year yet. And make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know how much you care about them on a daily basis. Just pick somebody out and say, hey, you know what? Like, I love you. I appreciate you. You mean the world to me. And do some just random acts of kindness today. Any one small thing could change the world. And I love you guys. Thank you for watching. It really makes my day. I really appreciate it. If you've made it this far, please give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.